Welcome to Palm Springs Stadium for Game 2 of the doubleheader. We have a busy day in the CWL today. 4 games going on, 2 here at the stadium and 2 on the turf fields. We'll give you the turf update once it becomes available to us. For now, we have the British Columbia Bombers facing off against the Canada A's in a terrific matchup. 69 degrees at first pitch, an absolute beautiful day, not a cloud in sight. First pitch, or second pitch, I should say, by Aaron Hurd is into right field. Chika settles under it and chases it down for out number 1.
It's a well-driven ball. It's a well-driven ball. Hit off the bat of Aaron Hurd. Just Chika had him play deep. Heard a lot of pop for a leadoff guy. It's a quick start for Brant.
Darius Simple takes outside, strike 1. This is what the lineup looks like for the British Columbia Bombers. Aaron Hurd who just flew out to right. Darius Simple, who's at the plate right now. Jordan Scholfen will bat next, batting third. Ball 1 to Simple. In the cleanup spot is the third baseman, Matthew Holliday. Playing first base, batting fifth is Tanner White. Scout Knotts is playing right field and batting sixth. 2 balls and 1 strike to Simple. And 7, 8, and 9 is Harrison Fullerton, the shortstop, Ryan Moab, the catcher, and Ethan Kleinhader, who's playing second base. The 2-1 is fouled straight back by Darius Simple. Pitching for the Canada A's is Evan Brant.
And Brant's been incredible to start the year in terms of that power pitching.
Simple puts this ball in play to the second baseman, Newton, who throws him out in time for out number 2. 2 up and 2 down for Brant.
Brant has had that swing and miss pitch going since he first stepped on the mound this winter. He's pitched twice prior to this start, 7 innings total. He struck out 15 guys over those 7 innings. Did give up 3 runs in his debut, but then a shutout over 4 innings, picking up the win against the Power a few days ago.
That brings up the number 3 hitter, Jordan Scholfen, the left fielder. Whole bat with 2 outs and nobody on. Takes inside for ball 1.
We're going to see 5 different pitches from Brant. There's a 4-seam fastball and a 2-seam fastball. He'll play that slider as a put-away pitch against righties.
1-0 finds the outside corner for strike 1.
Has a curveball as well that initially was intended to be 12-6. Has turned into more of a slurve, he was telling me, and then the changeup as well.
The 1-1 is fouled back out of play beyond the bleachers into the park behind us. We couldn't have asked for a better day here at the stadium.
Beautiful afternoon for baseball, and Brant working with pace.
Scholfen strikes out on a check swing and a quick 1-2-3 inning for Brant as we head to the home half of the first inning when the Canada A's will take their first hacks. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the ballpark. After Evan Brandt made quick work of the Bombers, the Canada A's will take their first plate appearance against Mark Berryman.
Berryman making his third appearance, just his second start. Strikes out about 2 guys an inning. Has only given up 2 hits over 5 innings of work.
First pitch swinging is center fielder Pierce Jones. Fouls that straight back beyond the bleachers, out of play.
Berryman's been really effective. He faced just 1 over the minimum in the 3-inning appearances last time out.
Works from the windup, delivers outside, strike 2. 0-2 count to Pierce Jones. Jones in the 0-2. Pulls the string as Berryman to get Pierce Jones in 3 pitches.
It's good work. 2 fastballs, then he played the breaking ball. That slider off of it, low and out. Had Pierce Jones out in front because there's a lot of circumstances where you're going to see primarily fastball. Your first at bat, first couple times through the order, just 3 pitches in. I think Jones was ready for a 3rd straight heater.
Brings up Robert Cheka, swinging at the first pitch. Will hit it towards the right side beyond the trainer tent. This is what the lineup looks like for the A's. Pierce Jones, who struck out swinging. Robert Cheka at the plate. Batting third and second, playing second base is Jacob Newton. The designated hitter is hitting cleanup today, Clay Wisner. The 0-1 is fouled almost in the same area. Batting fifth, and the catcher is Danny Carnazzo. Batting sixth, playing first, is Anthony Barron. The 7, 8, and 9 hitters are Elijah Lewis out in left field. Rio Takuchi at third base. Just upstairs misses is Berryman. And the 9th hitter playing shortstop, Kazuya O'Hara.
Yeah, the man at the dish, Cheka, he's been really solid to start the year. 11 plate appearances. He's been on base 5 times, 3 hits and a couple of walks.
1-2 just outside. Close pitch there for Berryman. He was asking where that missed, either up or outside. Behind home plate is Josh Garcia, and the field umpire is Roman Frecking. Ball put into play, into right field, driven for Cheka. He'll start the day 1 for 1.
Good piece of hitting. Got a fastball away. He poked it out in that direction, and Robert Cheka has now reached base in his last 5 plate appearances.
Brings up the number 3 hitter, the second baseman for the A's, Jacob Newton.
Got a little fan section out here today, too. One of the louder applause we've heard for a single name being called.
Yes, absolutely. Newton is leading the A's in hitting. He started out the CWL season 5 for 13 in his 5 games played. He also has 4 RBIs and a double to go along with it. He awaits the 1-0. Berryman works from the stretch, delivers ball 1 low.
He's also one of about 4 guys who can claim, one of only 4 guys who can claim a home run so far this season. Those 4 RBIs have him tied for second in the league, trailing just Michael Cooper. It's been a really good start to the year for the big lefty.
We have a huge field here at the stadium, 400 in dead straightaway center. Berryman throws over to first base to check on Cheka. And the corners at the foul poles are 350 feet.
That's really where you see the distance. It is a symmetrical field from center out, same distances both ways.
2-0 finds the outside corner for strike 1.
400, it plays. You're going to see that in a lot of parks, but it's the 350 down the line. You think about that, it's 30-plus feet further down the right field line than it is at Yankee Stadium. It's a long way to go. Those gaps sitting around 375.
Great perspective there. Ball 3 way outside.
It is a tough park for home runs, but it's a nice park for doubles. Those gaps are big. You pull something down the right field line, you got a chance at 3 with a lot of foul territory.
3-1. Berryman looks in, gets his sign, checks the runner, throws home. Chopper to second base. Kleinheider only can go to first base since Cheka was running. He'll get the sure out for out number 2. So Robert Cheka now in scoring position for the cleanup hitter, Clay Wisner. who's in the DH spot today. Berryman trying to work around the one-out single from Cheka. He looks in to Moad behind home plate. Gets the pitch he wants, delivers. First pitch swinging is Clay Wisner. Diving play by Holiday at third, throws across in time. A fantastic play by Holiday at the hot corner. And Berryman works around the one-out single as we head to the top of the second inning, scoreless.
Radio Rusty 44 at AOL.com.
Welcome back as we head to the top of the second inning. The Bombers will step in for the second time at the plate. Leading off the second inning is first baseman Tanner White, who takes ball one outside. The 1-0 swung on. That was Matthew Holiday who fouled that pitch. Matthew Holiday, Tanner White, and Scout Knotts due up. 4, 5, and 6 hitters. First baseman Barron off the first base line a few steps. Chopper, that'll go foul. The third baseman is closer to the left field line, maybe one step. And the middle infielder is playing straight up. Brand ahead of the count, 1-2, works from the windup, delivers outside in the dirt. Nice stop from Carnazzo, even though no one's on. Bombers still looking for their first hit. There's a ball to O'Hara, the shortstop, who throws high over the head of Barron. That'll be the first error of the game. So E6 for Holiday.
It was a nice job charging the ball. It was a slow chopper, but just kind of rushed on the throw a little bit. Throwing off balance was O'Hara and just sailed it over Barron's head.
So nobody out and a man on for the first baseman, Tanner White, who steps in from the left side. We'll face the righty Brandt, who gets ready from the stretch. First pitch swinging down the left field line. It's a fair ball rolling deep into left field, rounding third base. Heading home is Matthew Holiday. Tanner White. The throw in was in time, but Carnazzo was unable to get the tag on Holiday. So Holiday scores, and that gives the Bombers a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second inning.
Strong relay throw, but the exchange from O'Hara home was on a hop. Carnazzo kind of got handcuffed a little bit, and the ball, I don't think, was ever fully in the glove for him to go and make that tag. A bang-bang play, though, and it's the Bombers on the board to start things.
An RBI 2-bagger for Tanner White. That brings up the right fielder, Scout Knotts, who takes ball one low and away. Man in scoring position again for the Bombers, who have one hit and one run. Foul ball dribbled behind home plate. So the Bombers take an early lead, 1-0 here in the top of the second inning. Still nobody out for Brandt, who cruised through the first inning. He saw 3 up and 3 down. The 1-1. Ball put into play in the 5-6 hole into left field. That'll be a single. Tanner White moves to third base. So the Bombers stringing together a couple of hits. And Scout Knotts ends up at second base with the throw in. So runners on second and third for the shortstop, Harrison Fullerton. Big RBI opportunity here with a man on second and third and nobody out.
All you got to do is find something through a hole. 2 more runs on the board for your team. Heads up base running by Knotts. Watching that throw in, saw it hit off the end of the glove of the cutoff man.
Fullerton has 1 RBI this season. Takes outside, strike 1. The shortstop awaits the pitch from Brandt, working from the stretch. Doesn't get that outside call. Ball 1. Scout Knotts' single that he advanced to second on was hit very hard. Outside strike call to Fullerton. Strike 2. 103 miles per hour off the bat for Scout Knotts, who stands at second base. And Tanner White is at third base. Still nobody out here in the top of the second. 1 run across already for the Bombers. Looking to extend the lead is Fullerton, who waits the 1-2, swings and gets a piece of it to stay alive. Brandt's looking in for the pitch. Gets set. Check swing. They will appeal. He did not go, so that evens the count at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, and 2 on for the Bombers as they look to extend their 1-0 lead. Look to make this second inning a cricket number. The 2-2, just low for ball 3. What do you expect to see here from Brandt in a full count?
First base is open. You're in a strikeout situation. He likes that slider to the right-handed hitters.
The 3-2, just outside again. Fullerton reaches from a walk. So the bases are loaded. We're going to have a quick mound visit.
Yeah, James Frisbee, the pitching coordinator of the California Winter League, is out to talk to Brandt, just kind of calm his nerves. Remember, Evan Brandt's just 18 years old.
And remember, this inning started because of an error.
Sometimes your defense picks you up a lot. Sometimes you got to pick your defense up.
Yep.
You've only allowed 1 run. Strikeout and a ground ball, you get out of things. And do some weak contact. See what you can do here. You're in a scenario where the middle infield is probably going to stay back and trade a run for 2 outs, or at least the possibility of that. But I expect Brant to go right after Ryan Moad.
Ryan Moad steps in from the right side. He'll face Brant with the bases loaded and nobody out. He was right on the first pitch, fouled straight back into the netting. Moad is from Murrieta, California. He played some college ball at Cal Poly Pomona. A few Cal Polys around California. A comebacker to Brant. It goes off of his glove. A run will come across, and he'll get Ryan Moad at first base. So 1 away. Like Jacob just said, they traded a run for an out there. The Bombers now lead 2-0 in the top of the second. Tanner White came across to score. Scout Knotts now at third base. Harrison Fullerton at second. Strike one to the number 9 hitter, the second baseman, Ethan Kleinheider.
It's a really good start to the game for the Bombers. And you're facing a guy as talented as Brant. You got to get to him early. You let a guy like Evan Brant settle into a ball game and get a feel for that repertoire of pitches. He's really tough to hit as the game prolongs.
Just talking about Cal Poly Pomona, the last batter to Ryan Moad. There's now Cal Poly Humboldt up north as well as now a Cal Poly. Ground ball to the third baseman. Takuchi's glove falls off, but he's able to stick with it and get the out.
Anthony Barron picking it with the best of them. He not only saves his third baseman an error, but probably 2 runs from scoring there.
The order flips around. Now the leadoff man, Aaron Hurd, will step in. It's a big at-bat for Brant, trying to keep this just a 2-run game. 2 more runs out there on second and third for the designated hitter. Hurd takes low and away for ball 1. Last time up, Hurd hit a fly ball into deep right field, but Chica was able to track it down. Brant delivers low for ball 2.
Yeah, Brant already at 33 pitches. I mean, we've seen him have to use a lot in this second inning after what was a really clean first.
Yeah, he recorded a 1-2-3 first inning, and then the next 4 batters reached. 2-0, a huge hack. Hurd comes away empty for the first strike. Hurd awaits the 2-1, swings, and the ball is in play on the left side of the field. Takuchi misplays it, and 2 runs will come in for the Bombers. They got that cricket number they wanted. 4 runs here in the top of the second inning. So after that E5, Hurd is on first base. For Darius Simple, who steps in, the right side of the plate, swings at the first pitch, fouls in the 5-hole, the catcher and umpire. So the long inning continues for Brant.
He really hasn't been hit that hard. Just 2 hits allowed, the double by White, the single by Knotts.
Throws over to first.
The free pass hurts. It does, as Harrison Fullerton came around to score, but your team makes 2 errors behind you that leads to a couple of runs.
Simple takes outside, strike 2. Brant's ahead, 0-2.
Sharp slider by Evan Brant, the best one we've seen so far.
Brant looks in, the runner's going. The throw down, not in time. The ball scurries away, and heading to third is Hurd. And another errant throw, and Hurd will score. So a few errors there. A bunch of errors coming in this top of the second inning. And the Bombers now take a 5-0 lead after this 5-run second inning.
Yikes. It's a tough inning. I mean, you never had a shot on the break Hurd had going to second. The scoop attempt knocks the ball away, and at that point, you just have to put it in your back pocket. Don't turn
to
one
avoid what
miscue
we just saw from happening.
Yeah, he got third. He made it. Accept that. Let Brant focus on the hitter.
The 2-2 defensive swing by Simple does a nice job to foul that. Into the batting cage just beyond the training tent. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, 2 outs, and Simple is hit with the pitch. This ugly inning continues for the A's.
If they're going to bat around, are the Bombers. Ninth man to bat in the inning coming up in Shulafand.
Shulafan struck out looking his last time up. Will now bat with a runner on first base. And 2 away. Brant looking to just get out of this inning. After 4 errors and 5 runs have come across for the Bombers. Shulafan takes ball 1 outside. Brant now back in the stretch. Looks at the runner, throws home, and that's in the dirt. Ball 2. Only 2 hits for the Bombers, but the 4 errors have helped them get 5 runs here in the second inning. Fouled beyond the camera well.
And the defensive errors, they've just forced Evan Brent to throw so many extra pitches in this inning that not only does it hinder you with a 5 spot, but probably prevents your starter from getting deep into this contest.
The 2 on the runners going. The throw not in time.
Ouch. Throw goes off of Darius Simple's back.
Right?
So he's hit on the left side of his kind of rib cage when he's hitting the box, and sliding in probably gets hit on that same side again.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a runner on second. Brant looking to escape this inning, and he will not. That ball gets into the outfield for a single. Simple comes home, will make it home. The throw at second base is in time. Shulafan will get thrown out at second after trying to extend his single and advance to second on the throw. That did not happen, but the Bombers score 6 runs here in the second inning. We head to the home half of the second. We'll be right back. Welcome back to sunny Southern California. Beautiful day to start the first day of February. Due up for the A's, 5, 6, and 7 hitters. Carnazzo, Barron, and Lewis due up. The 1-0 finds a strike zone. Strike one to Carnazzo.
What an inning for the British Columbia Bombers. Half a dozen runs in the top of the second. You give Berryman a lot of wiggle room now.
Inside corner for strike two.
You put him in a situation where he can just attack these hitters.
Berryman's feeling good going back out there.
I too would love a 6-run lead at anything.
The 1-2, Berryman kicks and deals towards the left side of the field. Holiday, the third baseman, a low throw. Dug out at first by White, but it gets away. Carnazzo reaches on an error. So one aboard for the sixth hitter, the first baseman, Anthony Barron.
Barron made a tremendous scoop at first base in the last inning. Actually prevented an error.
Barron takes outside ball one. Barron coming into today's game, 3 for 15 on this young season, hitting .200. Berryman delivers on the outside corner, strike one. The Bombers, middle infielders in double play depth. White's holding on the runner. A big cut and a miss.
Really good changeup by Mark
Barron.
Berryman. Really nice pitch. You had given him a couple of fastballs elevated in the zone. That changeup probably would have been a strike either way, landing in the lower portion, but just pulled the string. It fell right off the table.
Berryman looks at the runner, works from the stretch into 1-2. That's high and outside to Barron. The count's now even. The A's trying to get something on the board after a sloppy top half of this inning. The Bombers lead 6-0. All 6 of those runs came in the top frame. Defensive swing by Barron there. Nice job to foul it off.
Only one of the runs in the top half of the frame are going to be earned against Evan Brandt.
How many?
One.
Okay.
One earned run.
That ball is blasted into right center field for a single from Barron. Carnazzo takes second base. Took a big turn, but will stay at second. So the first two men have reached for the A's, looking to scratch their way back into this game. We're still early. A lot of baseball left. As Elijah Lewis, the left fielder, will step in from the right side. He'll face the righty Berryman, who's looking to record his first out in this inning. Carnazzo at second. He reached on the error. Barron at first. Low and inside from Berryman, ball one to Elijah Lewis.
Sorry, Joey. If you're the A's, you got to try and find a way to get one, probably two. You'd like more runs back this inning. Baseball's a game of short-term memory. You make the errors. Look, it stinks in the moment. You move on. You got 5+ innings left to
1-0
go.
broken bats. Fullerton, the shortstop, unable to make a play on it. So that ball scurries into the outfield, and a run comes across, and Carnazzo scores the first run for the A's. They're now on the board and trails 6-1. That'll go down as a single for Lewis. Anthony Barron at second base. Lewis at first base for the number 8 hitter, Rio Takuchi. Still nobody out for Berryman and the Bombers here in the bottom of the second inning. Strike one upstairs.
Rios had a great start. 4 for 11, driven in a run. He scored 3 runs. A prominent bat in the lower part of this A's order today.
He has 1 RBI coming into today's game. He's looking for another one. If Barron's able to score. Moad, the catcher for the Bombers, puts down a sign for the infielders in case the runners go, what the game plan will be. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Takuchi. Swings, and this ball is blasted into left field. Scholefand, the left fielder, will play it on a hop. 1 run in to score, and that is it. That'll be an RBI double for Takuchi. Barron comes in to score, and Elijah Lewis will stay at third base. Still nobody out here in the home half of the second inning.
Takuchi got a lot of that one.
Yes.
At 3:35 down the line, driving in a run, the A's with a great bounce-back inning.
Still nobody out. It started off with Carnazzo reaching on an error. He came across to score. Barron had a single. He came in to score. That's the 2 runs for the A's. And now Elijah Lewis, who singled, is on third base. And Takuchi, who just had that RBI double, is on second. 6-2 is the game. All the runs coming in this second frame. If you're the A's, you're feeling better about yourself right now. Still with runners on and nobody out.
You could hit 2 ground balls and have a 6-4 game going into the next inning. You just have to make sure at least this first out is a productive one. If O'Hara can't manage to find a way on base, get something out there that at least brings Lewis home from third. Because something tells me we're not done with offense.
I think that's safe to say. First pitch into O'Hara is strike 1. O'Hara with a huge RBI opportunity here with runners on second and third. Is behind in the count 0-2.
Look, these two played a thriller the other day out on the turf. It was an 11-10 walk-off win for the British Columbia Bombers.
The first and only walk-off of this young season. Just upstairs, ball 1 from Berryman. Takuchi's ball, his RBI double, that was a shot into left field, was 87 miles off the bat. This ball is hit very high off O'Hara's bat. Holiday, the third baseman, was in foul territory, unable to make the play. So still 1-2. One and two. Berryman works from the stretch, looks at the runners. That ball is hit deep into left field. Scholefand is able to get under it, but that will bring in another run for the A's, and they cut the Bombers' lead in half. And they wasted no time in doing so. 6 runs for the Bombers in the top of the second, and now 3 runs so far for the A's, and they're not done yet, only 1 away.
Did a job. That's all you can ask. And you flip the order over with a man in scoring position, just 1 out, and you could probably try and tack on. You want to tack on a few more, but you're still in an opportune situation to add more to your tally.
The order flips around for the A's. Center fielder Pierce Jones digs in. He's ahead of the count, 1-0. He struck out his last time up. He fouls this ball. It'll make its way out of play.
I'll tell you, Mark Berryman's leaving a lot of pitches middle into these right-handed hitters. We saw the charge. Takuchi put in one. O'Hara drove one that was caught. And even that foul ball Hit a long way down the line.
Just up and in for Berryman, who falls behind in the count, 2-1. 6-3 ball game here in the bottom of the second inning. 1 on and 1 out for Jones. Jones hits a ball way, way up there. It'll finally come down. Fullerton, the shortstop, fields it in the infield grass for out number 2.
Yeah, that one in foul territory unfortunately dropped in. That one, the captain of the infield, Harrison Fullerton, took command, waved everybody off, and made that play.
Brings up the right fielder, Robert Chayka, who singled his last time up. He'll have an RBI opportunity. He drives this ball into left center field, into score to Cucci. No throw comes in. And the A's have now scored 4 runs here in the home half of the second, and it's a new ball game, 6-4.
Who said baseball needs more offense? What is this? Bring the shift back in the base. 6-4. I mean, it's a ball game all of a sudden once again.
Yep.
And the bats picking up for the lackluster defense we saw in the top half of the inning.
Well, the cheers come once again, so we know who's up. Jacob Newton. The runner goes. Newton hits a ball deep into center field. Simple has to move just a couple steps to his left to play that one. And that will retire the side, but not before the A's score 4 runs in the home half of the second, and they trail only 6-4.
Top of the third inning at Palm Springs Stadium after quite an eventful second where we saw 10 combined runs on 6 total hits, and it's a 6-4 lead for the British Columbia Bombers over the Canada A's as the A's starter Evan Brandt starts off Matthew Holliday with a fastball on the outer half called a strike and follows it up with a ball on the outer part of the plate, 1-1. Jacob Kronberg joined by Joey Senna on the CWL YouTube as Evan Brandt works out of the windup. 1-1 fastball off the end of the bat, popped foul and just over the bleachers. On the first base side it goes, strike 2.
Holiday leading off the inning for the second consecutive time.
Bombers batted around in the second. 1-1 breaking ball, bounced out to short. O'Hara has it. Couple of steps and a sidearm throw to first gets Holiday for out number 1. Much cleaner start to the inning as the second began with Matt Holliday hitting a ground ball to Kazuya O'Hara that was thrown away. And that snowballed into an eventual 3-error, 6-run inning for BC. Evan Brandt working from the windup, kicks and goes, missing away with a fastball to Tanner White.
Yeah, after that sloppy inning from the A's defensively in the second, they just went in the dugout, took a few deep breaths.
1-0 misses away, ball 2.
And they came out hitting, and they are right back in this game.
There's a lot of teams that would just roll over after
Exactly.
an inning like that.
Ooh.
White bounces it up the middle off the leg of Brant. In front of the mound, he gloves and throws a strike to first, getting White. Hopefully Evan Brant's all right as he recovered well off that bouncer up the middle.
I heard that deflect off of his leg.
It was leg. Hopefully got a bit of the leather as his manager, Thomas Incaviglia, is going to go out and check on him.
Wow, tough comebacker right there for Brant, who looks to be okay.
A quick 2 outs in the third for Evan Brant and the Canada A's, who trail 6-4 against the British Columbia Bombers. Brant peers the eyes over the top of the glove. Wheels and fires home, picking off the outside corner with a fastball for strike one to Scout Knotts. The BC right fielder singled and scored last inning, and now he takes a fastball down and in, ball one.
Brant is looking for a quick inning here after he threw way too many pitches, more than his liking in the seconds.
It was a long second inning as Knotts bounces one foul off the railing in front of the A's dugout for strike two.
He would love a 1-2-3 third inning.
Deep in the hole is the shortstop O'Hara. Brant's 1-2 slider in the dirt. But once again, with 2 strikes, we see that beloved put-away pitch of the wiping slider.
His chase pitch.
Brant right back to it. Slow roller down the third baseline, kicks foul. That one went off the front shin guard that Scout Knotts wears.
Knotts doing a good job battling off these pitches. Waiting for the one he's looking for.
Right on right the matchup. Brant stares home, now goes. Curveball.
Ooh.
Bounced foul, and another good pitch spoiled by the right-handed hitting Scout Knotts.
So much movement from Brant. An excellent pitch and a 2-2 count.
He's ready to go before the batter's back in the box on a foul ball. He means business, does Brant. 2-2, bounced foul once again. Nice play in the dugout by one of the A's players.
That was so nonchalant. That was a nice play.
Everything's so casual. Nolan Riley, he plays the hot corner.
He's always ready then.
Lines up. Brant steps and delivers. 2-2 curve. Swung on and missed. Strike three. A bounce back inning for Evan Brant and the Canada A's as he works a 1-2-3 top of the third. Going to the bottom half of the inning, it's the Bombers 6, the A's 4. Canada looking for some more offense on the CWL YouTube. The British Columbia Bombers in front of the Canada A's 6-4 as we begin the bottom of the third. Mark Berryman out for his third inning of work, and he starts the cleanup man, Clay Wisner, off with a sinker, down and in, called strike one. Joey Senna to my right, Jacob Kronberg coming to you live from Palm Springs Stadium as Berryman works out of the windup. The 0-1, laced into right center field for a base hit. Nice job by Scout Knotts cutting it off in the gap, and a good throw in. Keeps Wisner at first, but a leadoff single for the A's, who are back in business offensively and hopes to cutting this deficit against the Bombers.
Yeah, the A's are coming up swinging as soon as they step in that batter's box.
We've seen a heavy dose of fastballs from Berryman, and Canada's trying to jump on him now. Danny Carnazzo stands in, reached on an error by the third baseman Holiday, his first time up. First pitch, fastball misses low to Carnazzo, ball one.
Wisner hit that ball 93.5 miles per hour off the bat.
Drove it the other way as well as Carnazzo takes a fastball up. Beautiful sunny day, clear blue skies, the mountain lines behind the palm trees here at the stadium. British Columbia, infield and outfield straight away. As Berryman works from the stretch, first base side of the rubber. 2-0, bounce up the middle to second baseman Kleinheider has it, steps on the bag, throws to first on the move, and gets the unassisted double play. That ball snuck under the glove of Mark Berryman, and thankfully so for the Bombers, because it probably would have been deflected. Instead, it becomes an easy double play to erase the leadoff base runner.
Kleinheider said, "I'll do this one all by myself, guys. Don't worry about it." Great athletic play from Kleinheider to field the ball, tag the bag, and throw a strike over to White.
Speaking of strikes, there's a first pitch one to Anthony Barron, called on the inner half. Barron singled and scored last inning, but now he's quickly behind in the count, 0-2. And Berryman now working with pace. Works out of the windup, raises the hands, now goes home. 0-2 curve, spins outside, ball one.
I like the response from both of these pitchers after those huge second inning for both teams. They're coming back composed and calm.
6-4 game, British Columbia leading, as you mentioned, after an eventful second inning. 6 runs for BC and 4 for Canada as Berryman misses away once again. Count even, 2-2 to Anthony Barron, the left-handed hitting first baseman. Low hands as Berryman works out of the windup. 2-2, bounce to second. Kleinheider charges, gloves at the eyes, and throws to first, getting Barron to end the inning.
Busy inning for Kleinheider at second base.
He takes part in all 3 outs as Berryman works around the leadoff single. 6-4, British Columbia in front as we go to the fourth on the CWL YouTube. The British Columbia Bombers lead the Canada A's 6-4 as we begin the fourth at Palm Springs Stadium. Jacob Kronberg, Joey Senna bringing you CWL baseball as Evan Brandt throws a two-seamer past Harrison Fullerton to kickstart the inning.
After a great response from both the pitchers in the third inning, I'm interested to see how they continue that in the fourth.
0-1, chopped to the left side by Fullerton, but it kicks foul. Nice play by Tom Vaith using the backhand in the third base coach's box. Coach Vaith can still pick him a little bit. The spring and summer season manager of the Washington Wild Things in the Frontier League is Tom. Evan Brandt working out of the windup, his 0-2 slider. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Sharp on the inner half, Fullerton couldn't get to it. And Brandt strikes out, the first man he sees in the fourth.
Tom Vaith, a great manager and a great guy.
It's been fun getting to know him.
Yeah, interacting with him in the clubhouse.
I had a chance to briefly meet him at times in the Frontier League season when Washington would play the New York Boulders, and it's been nice to be able to sit down and kind of chat with him outside of the game a little bit as well. As Brandt misses with a fastball to Ryan Moad, it kicks back to the screen. Ball one.
I just love hearing all the managers talk ball. They love the game of baseball,
and
you can tell just being around them for a little bit of time.
6-4, Bombers in front as Moad chops one foul off his heels for strike 1.
You know, these managers don't need to be here. They want to be here. They want to be around baseball all year long as much as they can.
Not many places give you baseball in the winter as we play on February 1st. Bringing out of the windup 1-1, misses low.
We had a warm welcome to February. It's been cold the last, I want to say, 5 days or so, 6 days, and now
cold, really?
70 degrees
cold.
now.
Look, you're a California guy, Joey, so if you want to call it cold, those of us who live in the rest of the United States are not going to call this weather particularly cold. As the 2-1 misses, Brandt behind 3-1 in the count. Looking for back-to-back scoreless frames. 3-1, cut on and missed, strike 2. It's a 2-run lead for the Bombers. They scored 6 runs in the top of the second, capitalizing on 3 A's errors. The A's would then bounce back with 4 runs of their own in the bottom half of the second. 3-2 pitch, chopped foul as Moad keeps the at-bat alive.
These Bombers have been putting together some good at-bats, making Brandt work hard trying to get strikeouts and record outs.
Moad worked a walk on a full count his last time up. Payoff pitch, bounced down to short. O'Hara charges, tough hop, controls. And a strong throw to first gets Moad for out number 2.
Ever since that error from O'Hara at short, he has been locked in defensively.
He's ready. We've seen some, I guess, lackluster defensive performances at points for these guys still getting accustomed to season play again.
And getting used to each other, learning each other's tendencies, things like that.
Evan Brandt continues to work from the first base side of the rubber as he misses up with a fastball to Ethan Kleinheider. Made a couple of nice plays defensively in the bottom of the third. 1-0 heater. In the upper crust of the zone, called a strike. British Columbia looking for a 2-out rally, trying to add some insurance to their 6-4 lead. Brandt kicks and goes. Ground ball down to third. Backhanded by Takuchi. Strong feet across the diamond gets the speedy Kleinheider to end the inning as Evan Brandt has now worked back-to-back scoreless and perfect innings since allowing 6 runs in the second. Midway point of this one, 6-4, British Columbia leading Canada on the CWL YouTube. Bottom half of the third between the British Columbia Bombers and the Canada A's. British Columbia in front 6-4, but momentum kind of shifting back toward Canada. They scored 4 in the bottom of the second, and their starter Evan Brand has gone 2 scoreless. First pitch swinging, Elijah Hughes, bouncer left side, top hop off of the lip, and it's going to bounce into left field as a leadoff single for Lewis. And a tough break.
I don't know if I've seen a hop in the infield that dramatic, going over the heads of the 2 defenders.
Brings up Rio Takuchi, the third baseman for Canada. He takes a fastball on the outer half, called a strike. 6-4, British Columbia leading, looking to hold on to it here as Takuchi pops one foul out of play on the right side. Falling behind, 0-2. Lewis off of first runs well. He singled and scored last time he was through the order as well, looking to do the same. As the infield creeps in a bit, Berryman a letter high set, goes home, and the slider fouled back into the netting. The Bombers wearing the bright yellow tops, white bottoms, with Bombers written across the chest in a teal script. Gray hats, black brims with the CWL logo on them. As Berryman readies, peeks over the front shoulder at Lewis, now goes home. Fastball tipped into the mid of Moad. He holds on for strike 3. Good bounce back at bat for Mark Berryman, who got a tough break on the grounder to the left side prior.
It's been great to see both these pitchers keep their composure after that wacky second inning.
First pitch swinging, Kazuya Ohira. Liner to right center, over into the gap is Knotts, and he runs it down. Losing the hat in the making, and Ohira flies out for out number 2.
Ohira made good contact on that pitch. Just hung up a little too long for Knotts to make a play out there in right center field.
2 straight retired now for Berryman and the Bombers after the leadoff single by Lewis.
Kind of a fluke of a single, too.
Yeah, British Columbia trying to hold on to their 6-4 lead. As Pierce Jones digs in for the 3rd time in 4 innings. Takes a fastball for a strike. Snap throw to first from Moad. Not in time as Lewis dives in safely with the right hand. Jones struck out in the first, popped out in the second. Still looking to find his rhythm offensively this winter. Berryman ready from the belt. Long pause. Now he uses the slide step. It won't count, but he spikes it in the ground anyways. Late time granted by home plate umpire Josh Garcia.
Talked a little bit about it. Pierce Jones was a phenom in the 2014 Little League World Series. In their first game on the national level, he hit 3 home runs in one game in the Little League World Series.
Pops the 0-1 up. Moad back toward the netting. Tosses the mask, but it lands out of play. Big hop. Still bouncing up the bleachers it goes, and it'll settle. Got a young fan and his own baseball gear chasing after it. He wants that free popcorn. Oh, and 2 the count to Pierce Jones. As Joey mentioned, former Little League World Series phenom with that 3 home run game, a Chicago Little League that came out of the Midwest Regional. Berryman steps off and watches Lewis back into first. 6-4, British Columbia leading Canada in our final game of 4 today in the CWL. High set now for Berryman. Lewis runs, fastball up, good pitch to throw on. Moad's throw to second, not in time. Forced Kleinheider to leap for it, and by the time he came down with the tag, Lewis slid head first between his legs and picks up the stolen base.
Lewis didn't have the best jump in the world. If that was a good throw from Moad, he would have got him, but just a little too high on that throw.
Can't ask for a much better pitch to throw on, but as you said, the throw a bit elevated. Lewis now in scoring position. 1-2 to Jones. Slider misses just away. Moad held it for an extra second and signals to his battery mate that he likes the pitch, he likes the location.
Yeah, we saw Moad scooch over a little bit towards the right side. Exactly where he was looking for Berryman to throw it.
Berryman tries again with the 2-2, and he dots the outside corner with a fastball. Jones down looking to end the inning. A leadoff single goes unscathed as we are through 4 full, the Bombers 4, the Bombers 6, the A's 4 on the CWL YouTube. The top of the order due up for the British Columbia Bombers as we begin the 5th from Palm Springs Stadium. It's the BC Bombers 6 and the Canada A's 4. Alongside Joey Senna, Jacob Kronberg, bringing you another wonderful day of California Winter League baseball. Aaron Hurd goes first pitch swinging and laces a single into left field. Played on 2 hops by Lewis. He gets it in quickly, but a leadoff base knock for Hurd and the Bombers in business to begin the 5th.
New pitcher for the A's is Levi Wilson. Wilson's pitched 5 1/3 innings in the CWL, recording 3 strikeouts. He's had a little bit of trouble walking people. He has 4 walks, more walks than strikeouts.
Second batter to the inning, Darius Simple goes after the first pitch. Skyscraping fly ball out to left, and Lewis had him played perfectly as it flutters into his mitt for out number 1. So 2 pitches, 2 batters have come and go as Hurd remains on first with 1 out.
Wilson does come into today's game with a record of 1-0. He's allowed 2 hits. And he also has a save recorded to his name.
You've seen him pitch out of the back end of the pen a couple of times for Thomas Incaviglia's bunch.
He's looking to keep this score the way it is, 6-4.
Yep, a 2-run lead for British Columbia. All the offense came in inning number 2. Running on the first pitch is Hurd. Fastball taken up, and it's double clutched in the mid of Danny Carnazzo. A stolen base for Aaron Hurd as he brings some BC Insurance into scoring position.
Yeah, that's what allowed Hurd to get to second base, was that double clutch. Hurd with an excellent jump.
Wilson, a tall right-handed pitcher, staggered stance on the mound. He checks Hurd. First base side of the rubber, and the 1-0. Fastball down the chute, called a strike. Wilson with a fastball, around 90-91. Both middle infielders keeping an eye on Hurd, who's got tremendous speed. Wilson kicks and goes, missing upstairs with the heater, ball 2.
Shulafand recorded his first hit in the CWL in the second inning.
We've seen Jordan in both the outfield and on the bump.
Yep.
So far in this first week of the California Winter League.
We've seen a lot of super utility players.
Wilson, a letter high set, overthrows the fastball as it runs away, ball 3.
I say super utility because a normal utility pitcher will play around the positions but not usually pitch.
Yeah,
we've seen a lot of guys.
Very true two-way athletes.
Yeah.
3-1 the count to Jordan Shulafand. 1 for 2 with an RBI single today. 3-1 lined back into the netting. And the count pushes full.
And we've seen those two-way players pitch really well. It's not like it's your last resort, you're down 10 runs, these pitchers are coming in to pitch. They're pitching in close games.
It's not like when Darren Ruff pitched for the Mets this year. 3-2 the count, payoff pitch home. Lifted foul out of play behind home plate and will do it again.
And Hanser Alberto for the Dodgers. Pitching those meaningless innings in the bigs.
Rio Takuchi, the third baseman, a step behind the bag and not far off the line. Playing in the back pocket of Hurd is the shortstop, Kazuya Ohira. Wilson checks the runner. Another payoff pitch. Catches the upper crust of the zone, and Shulafand down looking. Big strikeout for Levi Wilson as he records the second out of the frame.
Wilson painting the corner right there. A nice job from Carnazzo to receive it. He held his glove right there and made Josh Garcia make a tough choice behind home plate.
Decided to punch him out. 2 strikeouts now for Shulafand as the cleanup man. Matt Holliday stands in. First pitch driven out toward left field. Back goes Lewis. It's over his head and 2 hops the wall. Hurd will score easily. Lewis could throw in. It goes to third, but into second. Standing up with an RBI double, Matthew Holliday, and it's a 7-4 lead now for the British Columbia Bombers. They add some insurance.
First run in this game since that crazy and wacky second inning.
That was a well-earned run. 94 miles per hour off the bat, thanks to our phenomenal crew keeping those metrics down low. Cordell Henriquez, Steve Bronak, sending up the data time and time again.
What would we do without our analytical guys?
We'd be without a lot of these numbers.
Exactly.
Help us, the scouts, and everyone analyze the game.
And the players, too.
First pitch misses outside to Tanner White. Right on left the matchup. And the 1-0 lifted, towering fly ball to left field. Lewis moves toward the line, shades the sun with his glove, and makes the catch to end the inning. But not before Matt Holliday drives in British Columbia's 7th run of the afternoon, and the Bombers take a 7-4 lead through 4.5 on the CWL YouTube. Home half of the fifth inning, the Bombers lead the A's 7-4. Jacob Kronberg, Joey Senna. As Tom Faith and the Bombers make their first move to the bullpen, they bring in the left fielder to pitch, Jordan Schulafand. Starts off Robert Chayka with a fastball on the outer half, called strike one. Schulafand working out of the windup, and the 0-1 curveball popped foul behind home plate. Into the bleachers it goes. Fans shading their heads as it lands and now trickles down.
Tom Faith must have heard us talk about the super utility guys.
Yeah, two-way player Jordan Schulafand, and he is one of those true two-way guys. 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike three. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night starts the outing for Jordan Schulafand as Chayka is retired. You look at Jordan, he has played in 3 games out in the field. This is also his 3rd appearance. He's gone 3 scoreless innings so far, giving up just 1 hit, 5 strikeouts, and just 2 walks.
Now he has 6 strikeouts and 3 1/3 innings.
Gets ready to face the big left-handed hitting Jacob Newton. First pitch fastball runs away for ball 1 to Newton, who grounded out in the first, flied out in the second. Outfield plays him slightly to pull and deep as the 1-0 is in at the knees for a called strike.
A small sample size, but only 1 hit given up from Schulafand.
Not the biggest guy, but it does have some velo in that arm as he works out of the windup. Controlled motion, and the 1-1 curveball fouled away, strike 2.
Great movement on that curveball. Slicing through the zone.
Not completely a 12-6, but there is more vertical break than horizontal break.
Yes.
Tries the surprise me fastball, and it's fouled into the netting. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes. 7-4, British Columbia in front of Canada. 6 runs in the second, 1 in the fifth. For the Bombers, Schulafand wheels and deals. Curveball, waved at and missed. Ball in the dirt. Moad comes up with it and applies the tag on the backside of Newton. And Schulafand has come to the bump, faced 2 guys, struck them both out.
Fastball, off speed. Fastball, off speed. That'll mess with the hitter's timing.
That's what it's about. Mess with the timing, you mess with the swing path.
Great execution by Schulafand.
2 out, nobody on for Clay Wisner. First pitch, bouncing ball out to short, off the end of the glove of Fullerton and into center field. It trickles. It's going to be an error against the shortstop Harrison Fullerton. And Wisner aboard with 2 outs in the 5th.
Schulafand looking to pick up his teammate after that error.
Second error charged against the Bombers today, and it'll bring Schulafand out of the stretch for the first time. Hands move high to low, now goes home, and the curveball is spiked. Good stop by Moad, but it's ball 1. A 3-run lead for the Bombers, who walked off the A's yesterday on the turf, hoping it doesn't come to that today as they have the lead late. 1-0 forces an not so confident hack from Danny Carnazzo. And he misses for strike 1.
It wasn't a half swing, maybe a 3/4 swing right there.
Infield plays Carnazzo to pull on the ground. Holiday hugs the line at third. Schulafand a belt high set. 1-1 curveball in the dirt. Another good stop by Moad.
Moad's had a nice game behind the plate. That could have been 2 bases right there for Wisner. Wisner could be standing at third right now.
The 2-1. Fastball misses low at the ankles, and Schulafand falls behind Carnazzo.
Yeah, Schulafand needs to attack the zone right here. The last thing you want to do is bring the tying run to the plate here in the 5th.
3-1 pitch. Fastball in at the knees, called a strike, and a full count now between Jordan Schulafand and Danny Carnazzo. Danny has homered at the stadium this year, the only man to claim that. So the outfield plays him deep. Short lead for Wisner, but he'll be on the move. He goes. Payoff pitch, lined back into the netting. Good swing by Carnazzo. He was ready for the good old number 1.
Carnazzo looking for his first hit. He grounded into a double play in the third.
Carnazzo from Monterey, California. Went to UC Riverside. Payoff pitch part 2 is the curveball. Same result, though, lined back into the netting.
Monterey is one of the most beautiful places in California, Jacob. You need to go check out Monterey at some point.
My voyaging of California has been rather limited. I've seen, obviously, Palm Springs and the surrounding area. I've seen San Diego.
San Diego's really nice, too.
Third payoff pitch, blasted foul the opposite way. And Carnazzo really making Schulafand work because Jordan's trying to protect a 3-run lead for his team. Bombers in front 7-4. And I have been, I guess, about an hour and a half from up to Ontario. Right on right the matchup. Wisner not being held on now. Schulafand's 3-2 curveball. Freeze frame, strike 3. Beautiful front door curve by Jordan Schulafand as he strikes out 3 in the 5th. Working around the 2-out error, we go to the 6th. Bombers 7, A's 4 on the CWL YouTube.
In the top of the 6th inning, they lead 7-4. It's been a crazy game. We've been all over the place. Some sloppy defense, some great defense. Leading things off for the Bombers in the 6th is Scout Knott. It'll be 6, 7, 8 due up for the Bombers. They look to add an insurance run or two here in the 6th. Wilson delivers the 1-0. Ball blasted into center field. Going back is Jones, and over Jones' head to the wall. Rounding first is Knotts. Rounding second. We'll have a relay. Knotts slides and makes it in time for a leadoff triple. Leadoff triple for Scout Knotts, who's now 2 for 3 on the day.
I was one of the most well-hit baseballs we've seen this week.
Season.
It is deep. It is hard to hit a ball that far to center field in the winter. I hit that ball about 390 feet in the air.
Brings up the number 7 hitter, shortstop, Harrison Fullerton. RBI opportunity for Fullerton, who takes up and in. Ball 1. Fullerton still looking for his first hit of the day. He reached via walk in the second. He came around to score there, and then in the 4th inning, he struck out swinging. He's now in a 1-1 count. One is outside to Fullerton, who's ahead, 2-1.
This is a prime opportunity to tack on another run. It was a 2-run game for a couple of innings there. You scratch one across in the 5th. You've got a man on third, nobody out. It'd be a momentum shifter if you couldn't score here.
2-1 low and away. Wilson falls behind, 3-1. Knott's on third base after he hit a ball very hard over the head of Jones in center field, all the way to the wall. 3-1 is upstairs. Fullerton will take a walk, his second of the day. Runners on the corners for the catcher, Ryan Moad. Moad grounded out to the pitcher and grounded out to short back in the 4th inning.
Yeah, nothing to show offensively, but what he's done defensively behind the plate has been
huge,
prevalent in this BC lead.
Yes. Moad hits a ball way up in the air. We'll see if it stays in play. Just on the other side of the netting, that'll bounce into the stands. And a fan makes a great catch after the bounce. He'll get a round of applause from all the fans in attendance here at Palm Springs Stadium. Thanks for joining us on the California Winter League YouTube channel. It's been an exciting Game 2 at the stadium between the Bombers and the A's. The Bombers have a 7-4 lead, and they're looking to tack on. Heads up in the camera well. That ball was blasted.
That was a thumper.
Right off the side of that camera well.
We've got action in the A's bullpen. A right-hander getting loose.
Wilson throws over to Barron at first. Back in time is Fullerton. Fullerton at first after the walk. After the towering triple by Scout Knotts, he's at third. Still nobody out for Moad, who's behind the count 0-2. Wilson works from the stretch, delivers home, check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. A huge strikeout there from Wilson to record out number 1 here in the 6th.
Really smart time to settle on that sweeping slurve, whatever he wants to call that breaking ball. You saw how on the fastball that Moad was on that liner off the camera bench and got him out in front, like big time out in front there. Really nice pitch.
We were talking about the defense from Moad. Good defense there from Carnazzo behind the plate. So 1 away, runner still on the corners. Number 12, the second baseman, Ethan Kleinheider, steps in from the right side. The Bombers looking to extend their 7-4 lead here in the top of the 6th. Wilson gets set, looks at the runners. Over the head of Kleinheider, heads up. He ducks out of the way. 6 hits and 7 runs for the Bombers. 6 hits and 4 runs for the A's. Wilson takes a moment after almost hitting Kleinheider in the helmet.
You got to give props to British Columbia. They had their 6th spot, then proceeded to give up 4 in the very next half inning. But since then have really settled down.
The 2-0 is way outside, and Wilson way behind in the count, 3-0.
I think you give Kleinheider the green light here.
Runners on the corners, 3-0 count. Kleinheider awaits. He'll take strike one. Looks like he was taken all the way there.
Looks like I was wrong, Joey. Looks like there's
Hate to say it, Jacob.
Looks like there's a reason Thompson.
It's not going to be the first, and it's not going to be the last.
Definitely was not the first, and you're right. Won't be the last, but we're going to try. Effort is key.
Fullerton takes second base, but it doesn't matter. Kleinheider's walked. So the bases are now loaded. That wasn't a shot at you at all, because when I'm in the color spot, I'm predicting things left and right like Tony Romo. And sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong.
It's all a part of the game, and it looks like that's going to be the end of the line for Levi Wilson.
So we'll be right back with the bases loaded and one away. We'll be back with the new pitching change right after this. Aaron Hurd will bat with the bases loaded and one away. The new pitcher, ball one, is Jerry Davis for the Canada A's. Davis has pitched in 4 games, 7 innings. He's allowed 10 hits, 2 earned runs. His ERA is sitting at an even 2.00. He has 12 strikeouts over those 7 innings, and he's looking for a strikeout here with the bases loaded and only one away. A big swing and a miss from Aaron Hurd. Hurd is 1 for 3. He singled and scored back in the 5th inning. He scored after he reached on an error back in the 2nd inning, and he flew out to right field in the 1st. So he's getting his 4th at-bat here in the 6th inning in a big opportunity with the bases loaded. The Bombers ahead 7-4. The 0-1 hit into left field. That will find the outfield grass. Fair ball. 2 runners in. The 3rd runner rounding third base on his way in. And a bases clearing double for Aaron Hurd in the 6th inning. And the Bombers now have a 10-4 lead.
He has been piecing up the baseball today, Joey. Aaron Hurd, his fly out to start the game, well struck to right, was caught. Then he reached on an error. He's got a hard hit single, that blast of a double. Breaks open this game for the British Columbia Bombers.
Scout Knotts had a triple. He scored. Fullerton walked. He scored. And Kleinheider walked, and he scored off of that bases clearing double for Hurd. Now up is center fielder Darius Simple, looking for his first hit today. He grounded out to second. He was hit by a pitch and scored in the second. And back in the fifth, he flew out to left field. He awaits the 1-0 count from Davis. Davis deals a chopper to the left side. Takuchi, the third baseman, has to charge and throws to first. A high throw. Nice job from Barron to glove that one. That'll go down as an infield single. Hurd advances to third base, so runners on first and third for the number 3 hitter. And the pitcher right now for the Bombers, Jordan Schulafan. First pitch swinging, the ball is put into play. It's peeling foul. The right fielder, Cheka, unable to make a play on it. Great effort there from Cheka and Newton at second base, all the way at the fence in foul territory, almost near the Bombers' bullpen. So Davis gets set. Runners on the corners. 0-1, 1 away. In the dirt, nice stop from Carnazzo behind home plate to keep the runners where they are. A long pause from Davis. Delivers home. Outside strike. Swung on and missed by Schulafan. Jordan Schulafan is 1 for 3. He singled back in the second inning and struck out looking in the first and the fifth. RBI opportunity for the number 3 hitter. Davis delivers just low and outside. He loses his hat on the delivery. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on. And 3 runs across so far for the Bombers here in the top of the 6th. They lead 10-4. That ball spiked and goes over the netting into the metal bleachers, makes a loud pounding sound, and trickles all the way down. So that'll allow Aaron Hurd, who had that bases clearing double, to score.
That's a new one.
We haven't seen that yet this season. Simple advances to second base after his single. So now a full count to Jordan Schulafan. 4 runs across now for the Bombers here in the 6th. They lead 11-4. Schulafan hits this ball, slicing foul, and just foul down the right field line. Chika's been busy over there in foul territory.
Jordan's trying to help himself. Picked up his first hit of the year on an RBI single earlier. Has pitched a scoreless inning out of the pen so far for the Bombers, who are now up by a touchdown. Second day in a row that the British Columbia Bombers have scored at least 11 runs against the Canada A's.
Those bats have been clicking for the Bombers, who lead 11-4 here in the top of the 6th. Inside, strike 3 is called on Schulafan, who kind of paused for a second like, are you really going to give him that strike call?
It's the second at-bat in a row where that
he said, if you give that to Davis, I want to get that same strike call when I'm on the mound.
Yeah, Jordan's had a couple of close, full count, called third strikes today.
His third one of the day. Brings up the cleanup hitter, Matthew Holliday, the third baseman for the Bombers. Swings and misses the first pitch from Davis, who keeps losing his hat on his deliveries to home. Working from the stretch, Darius Simple at second after he singled and advanced on a wild pitch that came over the netting into the bleachers. The 0-1 is fouled into the park behind us. Davis now just one strike away from getting out of this sixth inning where the Bombers have scored 4 runs. The Bombers have 6 runs in the second, 1 run in the fifth, and so far 4 runs here in the sixth as they lead 11-4. The 0-2 is skied high into shallow center field. Jones, the center fielder, coming in, calling off O'Hara and Nguyen. He'll make the play. And the inning will come to a close, but not before the Bombers strike for 4 more in the visiting side of the sixth. We'll be right back. 11-4, Bombers lead. Welcome back. As we head to the bottom of the sixth inning, the Canada A's trail 11-4. Anthony Barron will lead things off for the A's. 1-1 count. 6, 7, 8 due up. Barron, Lewis, and Takuchi. Of course, we could have a pinch hitter here as we get into the later innings. 1-2 now the count to Barron, who's 1 for 2 today. He singled and scored back in the second inning. And in the third, he grounded out to second base. Here in the 1-2, a shot into right field, but that's foul. One ball and 2 strikes. Barron hits from the left side, awaits, fouls this off the opposite direction behind third base. Heads up around the concession stand behind the third base line.
Looks like Nolan Riley's getting loose for Canada. Maybe he'll get the 7th.
The 1-2 hit hard into right field. The base hits. Hurd will play that on a few hops. So a leadoff single for Barron to lead off the sixth inning. Brings up the 7th hitter, Elijah Lewis, who is 2 for 2 with 2 singles. One coming in the second and the other in the fourth. Thanks for joining us wherever you may be here on the California Winter League YouTube channel. First pitch swinging is Elijah Lewis. Hit to the shortstop, Fullerton, who delivers a strike to Kleinheider at second and in time for the double play.
Beautifully turned by the British Columbia middle infielder. Clean fielded ground ball moving away from second base for Fullerton. A throw right to the pocket of Kleinheider, and then a nice pick at first. Everyone contributing and making that double play possible.
So the base is now empty, 2 away for Rio Takuchi, the third baseman. That ball's away and low, ball 1. Takuchi had a double back in the second inning, and he struck out swinging in the fourth. Big hack there for strike 2. Shulafan gets set from the windup. A line drive hit right at Kleinheider, who keeps it in front of him and makes a nice play. Calm and composed, throws over to first base where White is standing. And Shulafan, after allowing the leadoff single to Barron, faces the minimum after the double play. We head to the last of the 7th. The Bombers lead 11-4. Nolan Riley, the new pitcher for the Canada A's. His first pitch is up and away, ball 1. At the plate, who just took a huge swing, came away empty. It's Tanner White. White, Knotts, and Fullerton, 5, 6, 7, due up here in the last of the 7th. The Bombers have an 11-4 lead. Check swing. Did he go around? Home plate umpire Josh Garcia says yes, he did.
Riley on the bump, you're going to see a lot of fastballs. He's not a pitcher by trade, naturally a third baseman. Had the day off out of the lineup today, and he's a good candidate to come in and get this Flyers pitching performance. Good arm, live arm.
Well, one batter and one strikeout for Riley. Brings up the right fielder, Scout Knotts, who has had himself a day. Knotts is 2 for 3 with the strikeout. He scored 2 runs. Has a single back in the second. Strike 1 to Knotts. And a triple back in the 6th. He's looking for a 3-hit day here in the 7th. The Bombers lead 11-4. That ball spiked in the dirt from Riley. Ball 1.
First breaking ball we've seen from Nolan, and just kind of held on to it a little too long. Look, I'd ride with that firm fastball until somebody does something with it.
That ball is blasted into left field. That'll get down for extra bases, rolling all the way to the wall. Lewis throwing it back into the infield from the warning track. And a 1-out double from Knotts, who continues his great day. He now has a single, a double, and a triple in 4 at-bats.
All right, so somebody did something with the fastball. Scout Knotts got a fastball in, turned on it.
Knotts has been hitting all day, though.
He's seeing the ball well. He's seeing the ball really well at the dish right now.
Brings up Harrison Fullerton, the shortstop, who is 0 for 1 with 2 walks and 2 runs scored. He takes up and in for ball 1. He did strike out swinging back in the 4th inning. The Bombers have an 11-4 lead here in the last of the 7th. The 1-0 from Riley just upstairs, ball 2.
Every inning that the Bombers have put a man on base, they've scored a run. They've scored in 3 of their 6 completed innings so far. In the 3 innings where there were zeros on the board, they went down in order.
Tom Vate's going to be happy with that.
They are capitalizing in situations with men on base.
Riley delivers a high fastball. Fullerton unable to catch up to it. Riley looks in at the sign as his throwing arm's dangling. Gets set from the stretch. Looks back at Knotts at second. Delivers home just high for ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike to the shortstop Fullerton. (3-1). Riley looks back at the runner, gets set, delivers home, and he will walk Fullerton. So 2 guys aboard. Here in the top of the 7th inning, the Bombers looking to tack on. They've scored 11 runs already. They're at double-digit runs, but not yet at double-digit hits. They have 9 hits on the day. That was the 3rd walk of the afternoon for Harrison Fullerton. And he scored 2 of the previous times. Strike 1 on the outside lower corner to Ryan Moad, the catcher for the Bombers. Moad 0 for 3. Grounded out to the pitcher, grounded out to shortstop, and struck out swinging in the 6th. Takes low and away for ball 1. Knotts at second, Fullerton at first. Riley looks in, gets the pitch he wants, kicks in inside. Up and in on the hands of Moad, the catcher. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 on, 1 away. Here in the top of the 7th, the Bombers lead 11-4. Moad takes ball 3 from Riley.
Yeah, no one looked really sharp in the first guy he's faced and has kind of lost that command a little bit. It's a different animal pitching with guys on base.
Checks Knotts at second and high. Consecutive walks given up by Riley. The bases are loaded for the Bombers as we have a quick mound visit.
Thomas Incavilli showing off the wheels getting out there.
Yes, he got out there in a hurry.
Did a nice little jog back, too. All right, Thomas Incavilli on the coaching staff of the Tri-City Valley Cats in the Frontier League. So we've got a couple of guys coaching this match the past 2 days. We're all too familiar with each other. Play on separate sides of the Frontier League, but
Scout Knotts, who hit a bullet to the wall in left field, is on third base. This ball's in foul territory from Kleinheider. No one's able to make a play on it as it gets out of play. Knotts had that ringing double that hit the left field wall. He's on third base. Fullerton got walked. He's now on second after the walk given up to Ryan Moad, who's on first. The bases are loaded for the Bombers. They lead 11-4 here in the top of the 7th. Riley gets ready from the stretch, and that's fouled back over the netting, out of play. Kleinheider's 0 for 2. He did walk and score a run back in the 6th when the Bombers scored 4 runs, and that wasn't even the biggest inning they've had today. They scored 6 runs back in the 2nd inning. Fouled back again. We'll do it again. Kleinheider behind 0-2.
Nolan could really use a ground ball here.
Both O'Hara, the shortstop, and Newton, the second baseman, in double play depth. The 0-2 from Riley is fouled off once again by Kleinheider. Nice job from Ethan to keep battling off these pitches.
He's putting up a fight. He's gotten a heavy dose of fastballs as he's Ethan Kleinheider, and he's trying to pick up his first base knock of this game. The guy who hit .244 back in 2021 at Rockhurst University.
The 0-2 hit into left field, line drive right at Lewis, who throws home and makes a perfect throw to get Scout Knotts, who was trying to tag. Fantastic play from Lewis, making the play and delivering a strike home. That ends the top of the 7th. Nobody scored, but the Bombers still lead 11-4 as we head into the last of the 7th. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Palm Springs, California. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Bombers leading the A's 11-4. Kazuya Ohira will lead things off for the A's here in the last of the 7th. 1 ball and 1 strike to the number 9 hitter. 9-1-2 due up. Shulafan still working on the mound for the Bombers. Breaking ball didn't break enough for Shulafan. Ball 2. We have some shadows creeping in on the field. You can see the shadows of a couple palm trees. Two balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. That's high for ball 3. Comebacker. Shulafan able to get out of the way. That's an leadoff single here in the 7th. Brings up Pierce Jones, the leadoff man for the A's. Whole bat with nobody out. And O'Hara on first base. Check swing. He did not go around, and that's up and inside for ball 1. Jones is 0 for 3 today. He takes ball 2 high once again. He struck out swinging in the 1st. He struck out looking in the 4th and hit a fly ball, an infield fly, to the shortstop back in the 2nd. He waits the 2-0. Healthy rip there. Unable to make any contact. 2-1.
The A's offense has been rather dormant other than that 4-run second inning. They had 4 of their 7 hits, then all 4 of their runs scored in that frame.
2-1. Jones hits this into center field. Simple, the center fielder, going back, trying to track it, and it goes over his head. Extra bases for Jones. O'Hara rounding third, coming home to the plate, and that'll be an RBI triple for Pierce Jones.
Gave that ball a run. It just kept carrying.
Yeah. Simple out in center field. Had a hard time tracking that one right off the bat. So 1 across for the A's. They still trail 11-5 here in the bottom of the 7th. First pitch swinging is Cheka. Fouls it right back into the netting behind home plate. Ball 1 to Cheka.
I think the A's heard me. All of a sudden, another run on the board. I've seen them come in spurts, that's for sure.
The 1-1 outside from Shulafan. Robert Cheka singled back in the 1st. He had an RBI single in the 2nd, and he struck out swinging in the 5th. He's 2 for 3 this afternoon. 2-1 pitch is hit deep into center field. Simple going back at the edge of the track, making the catch. Nice job from Simple to follow that one and track that down. Pierce Jones does come in to score. That'll go down as a sacrifice fly as Cheka picks up the RBI. So 2 runs have come across here in the 7th inning for the A's, but they still trail 11-6.
Couple of breaking balls that have just been tattooed to straightaway center field as the Jacob Newton fan club gets one more roar.
Yep, that's right. Windows at the plate. He digs in from the left side, takes strike 1. Jacob's still looking for his first hit this afternoon. His last time up, he struck out swinging in the 5th. Takes ball 1 outside and in the dirt. 1-1. Big swing and a miss from Newton. Shufin looks in, works from the windup. Just outside for ball 2. Jacob Newton, who swings and misses, is from Ontario, Canada. So I wonder if his fan base that's here is from Ontario too, making the trip. Newton goes down swinging for out number 2, brings up the designated hitter, the cleanup man, Clay Wisner, who's 1 for 3. He had a single back in the 3rd.
Yeah, Clay's another one of those super utility guys we've been talking about. Two-way guy. We've seen him on the mound out of the pen. We've seen him at 3rd, 1st. Today's DHing. But a bat who's a thumper in the middle of this order for Canada.
Blasted way up into the air by Wisner. Fullerton, the shortstop, calls it, and he'll get under it in the infield grass for out number 3. And that's the ball game, folks. Thank you so much for joining us on the California Winter League Network on YouTube. It's been a pleasure. I'm Joey Senna alongside Jacob Kronberg. We've enjoyed giving you the game today between the Bombers and the A's. The A's win by a final score of 11-6 thanks to that big 6-run second inning. We'll be right back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for the first game at Palm Springs Stadium. We'll bring that action to you tomorrow. But for now, everyone have a wonderful night, and thank you once again for joining us on the California Winter League YouTube channel.